All right, welcome back to another episode of Max and Howard Drink Beer. I am Max.
And I am Howard.
Hey, thank you for that, Howard.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you got that whole low hum in there for us.
I had to tune up, if you will.
Tune up. All right. Yep, we're all tuned up. We're ready to go. So, Howard, what are we drinking here? We got something in a can that says it shouldn't be in a can, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this was one of the many beers out of the Milwaukee pack, and Max really couldn't help himself, man. He gets thirsty, and all the beers are at his house, so he drinks all the beers, and then there's kind of not much left to go after, which is cool because MKE really isn't my style. So if you're following us on Instagram, I think it's Max and Howard Drink Beer. It's all full Max and Howard Drink Beer.
That sounds about right.
And if you see that, you'll see a lot of updates from Max about those MKE beers that he drinks. And as you might know, not too big on them. They're like a Wingstop of beers. They're about a flavor up or down than I usually like.
Yeah,
you know?
I hear you there. I'm not knocking anything they do. It's just not my cup of tea.
Right, exactly.
So we are rocking today, and Howard's taking his first sip over there. But we are rocking that local flavor, Snake Oil.
Yeah.
Cold brew nitro stout.
Yep.
And I'm really not looking forward to it.
Right, because you're not a coffee guy. You know, so if you're not a coffee guy, you don't like to drink coffee. That's kind of how it works.
It really tells you how to drink craft beer from a can, and it's a spine to glass. We're not doing that. We're drinking it right out of the can here. So
yeah, do you want to continue doing that?
I wasn't planning on tasting any of it as I drink it.
Okay.
Just gonna pour it down the gullet.
Yeah.
Just gonna go
rock
for
and
it.
roll. I'm gonna tell you before you even take a sip, when you just took a sip, this isn't anything different to me than a good old fashioned glass of black tar. It's nothing different to me than a Guinness. You know. Oh, we have a little bit of a guess. She's gonna try it. Katie's gonna try the beer. Yeah, to me, this doesn't taste like anything less than Guinness. Katie would fuck with this.
Wow.
So
that's good. Did you want the rest of it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pass it off.
Wow, you didn't like it that much?
I don't like coffee in any way, shape, or form.
I can't even taste the coffee.
So with that, it doesn't help that I've been drinking one of my new favorite beers today.
Yeah, I suppose.
The Jolly Pumpkin La Roja.
Yep,
And
we got that on discount from our friends over there in the Woodman's Dairy.
You know, so just with that, I've had the sour taste of their sour beers all day, and I gotta tell you, I can't get over this taste.
He's out. Well, I don't hate it.
I'm out. So
that I think that's a solid 0 from Max.
I didn't,
or is that like a non-recordable because you don't like the beer to begin with?
Right. It's definitely something. I don't drink stouts purely because of most of them are a coffee-based flavor.
If this had a little bit of Bailey's and a little bit of JMO in there, it might be pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not the worst thing I've ever had, but I am gonna say at the same time, this isn't too different from Guinness. I don't really catch any of the cold brew, but then again, I drink my coffee hot. So
right.
I don't really drink and if I don't drink it hot, it's because it's been sitting there because I'm so busy doing something else. By the time I finally drink it, it's cold. So is that the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Not to knock anything you're doing, but I'm out.
Well, I knock everything that you're doing just because, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, knocking.
Look at that. I think that was our first sound effect for this show.
Yeah, it was perfectly inputted from my hand.
Sure. So, let's kind of cut this whole deal short. We're not going to cut the episode short, but we'll definitely cut the rating short. For me, 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm giving it a no contest.
Yes, no low contender. Yeah, I like that. If I wanted a Guinness, I'd kind of have a Guinness. I bet it would be cheaper.
See, I don't throw that into the same area. I don't feel like Guinness, even though they claim to be the stout of beers, I don't feel like they're the same. Like I said, it says cold brew on it.
So you were tasting the coffee?
I'm still tasting the coffee.
Okay.
I've cleansed my palate with the La Roja to try to get over it, and I can still taste it.
I guess I'm so sensitized to McDonald's mud, that I don't even taste the coffee. I just taste the Guinness. Yeah.
So what do you think, Howard? What were we talking today? We're talking...
So we had a longtime friend of the show, and all-around good guy, Stanley Yelnats the third. Everybody else calls him Stan. He actually nominated both of us because he's bored at work or whatever, and instead of playing with his pee-pee, he plays on his phone.
Well, so that's what you do at work.
He's a big music guy, so he nominated you for the 10 albums that inspire you, and he nominated me to name off 10 guitar heroes, and I guess any guitar hero that I ever could dream of. So we're going to do some kind of variation for that, and it's going to be kind of a 2-part show. And, we're trying not to get into the music, sinkhole, but I think we do a pretty good job of talking about everything.
We're definitely all about music, especially me. I play too many instruments to count.
Hey.
So when we do fall down that hole, it's kind of...
And you got to understand, folks, when we're in the taverns, we talk about so many different things, and we try to bring everybody into the conversation. Even that old scraggly homeless guy in the end of the bar there who just wants to drink his whiskey and go back to a shopping cart full of cans, We like talking to people, and we like to get them all involved, and... Who doesn't like talking about different kinds of music? So, fuck it, let's run it. Let's talk about it. Let's see where we're going, and then Stan won't be mad at us for ignoring him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
there we go. So, you going first? Am I going first?
Well, I'll go first with the guitar hero. I would be remiss to name my grade school hero, Keith Richards.
Okay.
So he's a guitar hero for sure. Who isn't inspired by Keith Richards. I love the stories about all of these guys. There's such interesting stories about all these guys. And I don't know if you know this, and he's not on my list, but Pete Townsend, he does the windmill, right?
Yep.
You know why he does the windmill? He saw Keith Richards do it once.
Because he needed to do it.
He saw Keith Richards do it, and he thought it looked cool, so he did it the whole time. And Keith Richards himself says... I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I've never done that in my life. So he saw it at one show, and Pete Townsend said, I want to be like Keith Richards.
Well, yeah, who doesn't?
He's a hero. Dude, he did. I read his book because I'm that much of a diehard Keith Richards fan, and that reminds me of another guitar hero that I should write down. But I read his book, which was... incredible. It was one of those books where you read it in his voice.
Yeah, right.
So it was cool to read, and he did the best drugs known to man. He didn't do anything but the best, and that's why he lived this long. So the end. So if you do drugs, people, let that be a lesson in you. Do the best drugs.
That's how you live forever.
And that's right.
Okay. So I modified my list a little bit.
Okay.
It's not guitar heroes.
Yeah.
It's musical influences.
Okay, sure.
So I went at least the 5 that I put in my list that I could not have done without, that profoundly affected me. So my first one that hit my list immediately was Miles Davis.
He was a guitarist?
He was a trumpet player.
Oh, musical heroes. Okay, yeah.
Right.
All right, I'm catching
because all the instruments I play, I can't just say, hey, I got guitar heroes. I can name guitar heroes, and I've got one of the best on the list in my opinion of all time.
I would agree.
But Miles Davis, hands down, when he was doing what was it called? The album was some kind of blue.
Yeah.
He put blues, jazz music on the map in his day.
I would agree.
When he was playing it, if you don't know music, you've probably heard of Miles Davis.
If you don't know music?
Right.
Okay.
If you don't know people...
Oh, okay.
We
Gotcha.
We know
okay,
musicians by name and stuff.
Right.
But if you don't know too many, I feel like, if you're talking... I'd like to say my wife would know who he is, but I'm sure she doesn't.
Okay.
But Miles Davis, hands down, he affected me profoundly in my music playing. Just the way he approached the instrument to how he played it. He pushed it further and influenced many of the guys that weren't just playing trumpet, but guitar players, saxophone players, other instrumentalists. And when you have that ability to, influence people other than the instrument you play, I feel like that gets you to that legendary status. So I mean, without him, music-wise, I wouldn't have honestly ever evolved from jazz music to, rock and metal that I play now.
Because you're a jazz drummer.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in no way, shape, or form.
Oh, okay.
So who's next on your list, Howard?
So, I guess my all-time favorite guitarist. I've talked about this on the show before. It's Jeff Beck, and when we're talking about like Yardbirds, Jeff Beck, and he split off to do the Jeff Beck group with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood on bass. That was one of the greatest bands of all time. Because you had all that instrumental, you had that guitar hero, the guy's crazy, with everything that he does. And yes, he's got that, big guitar player ego. I'm the greatest in the world and all of that. But, if you watch him play on the live stuff and the way he just plays and he can carry on a casual conversation while playing these complex hits, it's fun to watch him. Something I recommend to the people at home, if you're looking to listen to something new, you're probably all Beatles fans because they're all weird. If you want to hear a really good Jeff Beck tune, look up A Day in the Life by Jeff Beck. And it's all instrumental. It's just him playing the guitar. And it's really beautiful.
So I got something for you there about the Beatles. It's just way out in left field. It's something I read a couple weeks ago. So, the Beatles had all of their music and everything.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson ended up purchasing all the rights to the Beatles music. You remember that, right?
I did know that, yeah.
Okay, so a fun extra fact of that was that the Beatles also owned all of Little Richard's music. And when Michael Jackson purchased all of the Beatles' rights, he got all of Little Richard's rights. So Michael Jackson, being who he was, strange dude.
Yeah.
He gave all of Little Richard's music back to him.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So that was a cool little tidbit that I read, and something I'm like, there's no way, I gotta fact check this, and went, no shit, he actually did. So there's a little thing, everybody. I think everybody knows a little bit that Michael Jackson had the Beatles music.
Yep.
But I didn't think anybody really knew that about Little
Richard.
I
didn't know that the Beatles had Little Richard's music.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting how that works out. So who's really the scumbag?
I'm pretty sure it's still you.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, right. My next one on my list is the man, Dave Grohl.
Okay. Yeah, you're a Dave Grohl guy.
As music goes, heavily, I love watching him drum.
Yeah.
The Nirvana stuff he did, the early Foo Fighter stuff where he was doing himself, but them Crooked Vultures.
Right.
And, Queens of the Stone Age, too, that first album, when they came out with that was all him, on the drums. So I really appreciate that because I feel like he kind of single-handedly took rock and roll on his back for a while. Yep. And just pushed it through, dragging it through, kicking and screaming to allow other bands to go, okay, yeah, we're still playing music here. All the Foo Fighter stuff and everything that he has done, I'm a huge Tenacious D fan.
Right.
I love what Jack Black does with it, and to know that Dave Grohl, is that way, and that dude is kind of like, nonstop, full energy, almost to that level like Fletcher is.
Yeah.
That just never stops, constantly doing something.
Never stops, never stopping.
And I really enjoy listening to a bunch of stuff he's done, like the behind-the-scenes stuff where, this dude is a huge rock star. You go out, everybody knows who he is. you know, because he played with Nirvana, moved on, and did his own thing after Kurt Cobain passed away. And he tells stories about, you know, I'm this big deal, I go everywhere, and then I come into my own house and my kids go, "That's great, Dad, can make me a sandwich." You know, and it's just like, it's that attitude, is down to earth. I mean, you know, one of my favorite stories to tell is the one where he fell off stage and broke his leg.
Yep.
And he finished the show while the paramedic came out and set his leg on stage. You know, it's just like, that's being a musician. That's understanding the fact that you are there, you inspire these people, and to pull these diva tantrums that all these pop stars, and I use that in quotes nowadays.
Finger quotes. He did finger quotes for those of you at home.
You know, because honestly, anybody, the show starts at this time. You started at this time.
That's right.
Not, oh, we're going to be 3 hours late. I'm going to sing 2 songs and not like something and then storm off diva tantrum.
What are you, Guns N' Roses?
I've heard plenty of them. All this new, you know, I've heard like Ariana Grande does that pretty often.
Ooh.
You know, the girl with the ass and the hair.
There's a lot of girls like that.
Yeah, and they all pull that same diva tantrum bullshit.
Unbelievable.
So that's why Dave Grohl, the man. That's why he's on my list.
You know, I'm not a big Foo Fighters guy, or I'm really not a big Nirvana guy. That Nirvana to me is like coffee to you, to be honest with you. But, you know, I admire Dave Grohl, and I'll tell you why. The guy can play any instrument that you set in front of him. He's a well-known drummer. He's a well-known guitarist, if I'm not mistaken. But he also bites a bullet here and there because he plays the bass guitar here and there for some certain bands. Which leads me to my next personal guitar hero. I mentioned him earlier before. It's a guy by the name of Ron Wood. Mm-hmm. Now, Ronnie Wood, when he played in Jeff Beck's band, Jeff Beck was a guitarist, you know. So Ron Wood, hey, I also play guitar. Well, what do you want me to do? Here's the bass. You wouldn't have the Jeff Beck group without Ron Wood. He played the bass guitar. He's a guitarist, and he played with 2 of the greatest musicians in the world, Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck. You know, fuck, I'll play bass guitar if you want me to do that. You know, but now let's fast forward a little bit, and then he went to he turned the Small Faces into the Faces when Steve Marriott left. You know, and then they had Rod Stewart and Ron Wood. Ron Wood, the Faces is one of my all-time favorite bands because they're the drunk band. You know, they're rollicking, you know, train rolling band. You know, and they're just fucking awesome live. Everything they did, and they were just they say that themselves. We probably would have been a lot better if we weren't fucking drinking all the time.
Right.
You know, but that's Ron Wood. You know, he was a drunk that could make it sound good. And then suddenly you're thinking about it, and now Keith Richards wants Ron Wood.
Right.
You know, so they go on after Mick Taylor, after Brian Jones, and Ron Wood becomes part of the Rolling Stones. And you can say whatever you want. At the end of the day, they wouldn't be the Rolling Stones without Ron Wood.
Right, exactly.
You know, so he's a big deal too. And he's not a great singer, I don't think, but Ooh La La, that was Ron Wood. He sang.
Okay.
You know, he's a little bit, and don't ask to hear him sing now, because holy shit. And, you know, it's funny, too. I love the joke. He recently, and I mean recently, in the last year, maybe 2, just had twins.
Oh, no shit?
No shit. It's the little wood that could. Thank you.
Where is it?
See, we need that, yeah. But, yeah, so that's 3 out of 5 so far.
Yeah, so I got a strange one for you next. I'm not even sure if you're going to know who this is.
Probably not.
Benny Goodman.
That sounds familiar.
Benny Goodman was a clarinet player.
Yeah, you talked about him.
Way back in the day, and I love talking about him because he played swing music. And the big reason was this, is clarinet. When you think swing music, or any music, you know, clarinet, that doesn't fit there.
And swing?
No, they were background. He put it front and center, wrote one of the biggest songs in that time, of Sing, Sing, Sing.
Sing, Sing, Sing.
And he directed the band while playing. So back in that time, the big thing that I took from him was, here is an instrument and I play this instrument, and I'm not going to follow that traditional standard that everybody else does. You know, I'm going to put my middle finger up, and I'm going to play what I want to play.
Right. That's
You know?
the beauty of music.
So he influenced me heavily from that standpoint of just because everybody tells you this is what your instrument does,
Right.
does not mean you have to play it that way.
Yep.
That's why I changed my way of drumming. Because everybody says that's noise. No. If you make it musical, you do some crazy shit like Terry Bozzio does, you know, with his monster kit.
Yeah.
This noise has become a musical instrument, even though nobody thinks of it that way. And he was the person that kind of musically influenced me of, you know, this isn't what he does. You know, I'm not going to follow the social norm. Fuck you. You know, and that was at least what I got out of it. Other people will argue what it was. You know, clarinet. I've got one sitting over there. I am awful. Just terrible at playing.
There you go. A little bit of humbleness from Max
But-
Galici, everybody.
Well, I'm terrible at most of the instruments I play. That's why I play so many of them.
Right.
So when you put all the little bit of talent together, you make it seem like, hey, can you play music? Of course I can. I play 14 instruments. Are you good? I didn't say I was good. I said I play them.
Right.
You know, but
Well, in that case, I play 24.
okay, you got them?
No, I don't.
Well, I'd like to see you play them all.
I would too.
'Cause, that's why I have them. That's why they're sitting out.
Dun, 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 dun. Never mind. Sorry. That's
But yeah, so that's the next person on my list was Benny Goodman, and that's why that guy, like I said,
Yeah.
he was a rock star before rock stars even existed.
I love the weird instruments like that. You know, Bon Scott had, you know, the bagpipes and
We talk very often about Jethro Tull.
Ian Anderson had the flute.
Right.
You know, and that guy was a madman. I could do a whole list of frontmen alone.
Right.
You know, just guys leading bands, and I that's a good chunk of my bands just because they do a great job leading the show. This guy does a little bit of both. He plays the guitar, and he kind of leads the band. And the dude just does everything. Billy Gibbons out of ZZ Top.
Yeah, that's a guy who doesn't seem to sleep.
You know, that guy will play with literally anybody, you know, country, metal, Dave Grohl, you know, and that little band out of Texas is out of this world. You read stories about those guys, especially how they did their, I think it was a Fandango tour.
Yeah.
They brought Texas to the stage.
Yep.
You know, and just reading about how they did that is absolutely fascinating. And the guy is as humble as he can be. Oh, he even plays with Kid Rock.
Yeah.
You know, and people that nobody likes. Nickelback. He played music with them.
I have my own little story about that. I was laughing hysterically. A couple years ago, Sam started watching Bones, the TV show.
Yeah.
And one of the characters on there, that's her dad.
Yes.
So Billy Gibbons is her dad, and like
That was awesome.
And he walked in, and I'm like, yes.
Yes.
And of course, I got to look like,
Yep.
you know what? I'm like, he is a bad
That is a
man.
bad mother right there, man. When they talk about Mother's Day, they're talking about him. Oh yeah. No, man, and everything he does, he did a thing for Merle Haggard when he died. They did Working Man's Blues, and it was just out of this world. He's a scholar of music.
Well, I mean, I've
everything's interesting. You know,
I've heard versions of stuff with, you know, like Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yep.
You know, I can't even think of his name right now. Joe Bonamassa.
Okay.
You know, when you're throwing some of the elites, the big guns of blues, guitar playing, there's Billy F. Gibbons.
Oh man. The Reverend Willie G, and he's so humble about everything, and he's just got a way with words, and it's like poetry, and it's beautiful.
Well, they were like the guys of the middle eras of blues there.
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
When blues was starting to lose its steam, here was ZZ Top still holding on.
Well, and he actually operated very much like you did before. there was ZZ Top. Was a band called the Moving Sidewalks, and they were very psychedelic and all that. They were trying to be, okay, how can we do things differently than everybody else? And that's what it was all about, man. And, dude, like I said, I can never get enough of Billy Gibbons. I can't wait to watch that documentary on Netflix if I ever find the time to do that. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. So, you ready for this one?
No.
This one you're going to love.
Okay.
Because you've never even met the guy.
I've never met him.
You never even heard of the guy.
I might have.
His name's Scott Sincata. Scott Sincata was my band director in high school.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so this dude has the abilities to outperform, I'd say easily half of the professional musicians that are going around touring.
That wouldn't be surprising.
He chose, instead of playing music out, he decided after a couple years of doing it to become a teacher and to share the gift of playing with other people. If it was not for him, I would have gave up on music.
Right.
You know? I remember specifically one day in class we were playing this piece and he got all upset with the drum section. Because they just kept screwing it up. So he walks back there and he's been a drummer his whole life. This guy, you know, does, you know, stuff Jojo Mayer would do, stuff I've seen Pert do. You know, he can do it all. You want to see a drummer play drums, Scott Sincata is hands down. Like I said, he made that choice. Instead of a life on the road, he decided to slow it down, have a family locally, and teach. So when I ran into him, it was, you know, he was just like, oh my God, you love music. And, you know, like, I got stuff from over the years. The tribute to Buddy Rich, where some of the world's greatest drummers came together and played songs of what Buddy Rich used to do.
Right.
So this guy, and it was like a couple days after I got this for him, he gets all pissed off at the drum section. He goes back there, and he takes all the parts, puts everything up, and he starts playing like 9 parts by himself. And we're like gearing up for this. Like, man, there's going to be this gong hit in there. How's he going to hit this gong? This dude takes his rubber heel of his shoes that he wore because it was the right type of mallet to hit it.
Yeah.
Taps it lightly and then donkey kicks it in the middle of playing all this stuff to get it perfectly in time. And all these high school kids are just like, what just happened? He just played everything. All these parts. We need 10 people to play what he just played by himself.
Right.
To show to that level, and then he would sit down, he'd play the piano. And then he would sing. And then he'd go and pick up a trumpet. And then he'd play an oboe. You know, and it's just...
Oboes?
You'd watch the guy bounce between instruments. And, I mean, when I was in school, he was... I mean, I think he was only in his mid-50s.
Yeah, I believe that.
So, for the understanding of all these instruments, it's truly inspired me to constantly keep working. You know, I even went after high school and I took the 3 or 4 months of drum lessons from him, just so I could work with him again. You know, because the way he taught it was just, you know, just do this, Okay, now we're gonna jam. Did you ever jam before? No. Well, that's fine. It's easy. You start, and then you just, here you go. All right, now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Yep.
You know, and it's just, he made it so easy to learn that it profoundly changed everything. You know, he taught me the simplicity of drumming. You know, and you heard me a couple of weeks ago talking about it with Fletcher, that here you go. Your cymbals accent the main instrument, whether that's the guitar, whether that's, you know, a trumpet, whatever style. So when they do something like if a trumpet goes ba-da-ba, you hit that cymbal, crash, crash, crash.
Right.
And your kick drum follows the same rhythm that your bass player or your low brass section or whatever it is. And he said if you follow those, your snare drum holds the beat steady.
Yes, exactly.
You can play everything.
Yep.
You don't need to learn how to play. You need to learn how to listen.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing.
Absolutely.
The stuff he would say, if you listen, music's everywhere. You'll hear it when that thing over there with the drain gets going, and it makes that click.
Yeah, syncopation.
you've seen me. I start grooving to it as we're just hanging out down here. Like, you know, it was him who showed that music is all around us.
Right. Yes.
You
Exactly.
know? So that's why I put him on this list. You know, important musicians. I think every person who's ever played an instrument had a teacher that inspired them further.
Let me ask you this: was your teacher kind of a big Steve Miller fan?
No, not really.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of the. Yeah, go ahead.
He played in a disco band.
A disco band.
Before he became a teacher, he bought his first house playing drums in a disco band, and he paid cash for it.
A disco band.
So just everything of that, but you know, it's just to see the excitement that when you talk music and you see it with me, I see it with you. You see it especially with my dad.
Yep.
When we start talking music, he gets super giddy and all excited, and that's when you know that's a musician. That's the passion. And I almost stepped away from it, and he was the one who pushed me to not give up. Why would you want to give up on something so wonderful?
Yep.
That is music.
I agree. Yeah, I've had a few band teachers that just hated Steve Miller because he was from Wisconsin, from the Madison area, and, you know, he got famous and they didn't. You know, that's always how I kind of saw it. It might have been a whole different thing. Maybe Steve Miller is a bit of an asshole. Who knows?
I think at the end of the day, every musician has that ego.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you don't have it, it's the understanding, you know. That's why Dave Grohl makes my list earlier, because he has that self-awareness that, you know, all of us, anybody, any luck you get, any job you get, any gig you get, you were lucky.
Absolutely.
Because at that time and place, somebody needed something, and you happened to be standing there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So who's it? Who's
So my first four, they're pretty predictable. They're like, yep, this sounds like a Howard Guitar Hero list here. My last one is a guy out of nowhere. You know, he was big in the 60s. You know, he really set the pace for his band to move on without him. A man by the name of Peter Green. Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac.
Yep.
Before there was Stevie Nicks, before there was Lindsey Buckingham, there was Peter Green. And that guy could shred a guitar. That guy made Eric Clapton jealous. That guy made Jeff Beck do a double take. He was a hell of a guitar player. You know, so everything that he does, the greatest song in the world, perhaps, is the song Oh Well, Part 1. And that's probably the greatest rock song in the world. That's what he was on.
Yeah,
you know,
I know which song you're talking about. Actually.
Peter Green, he's got a Black Magic Woman. You know, he did all of that good stuff, and for whatever reason, he didn't continue on with Fleetwood Mac, and they got absolutely fucking huge without him.
Yep.
You know, so Peter Green is absolutely a guitar hero. They just did a whole tribute to him. You know, Peter Green. What can I say? He doesn't get talked about enough, and everything
I don't think he's ever in anybody's list.
No, absolutely not. Anytime he gets put on in rock and roll somewhere, I usually share it. So that Peter Green. Did I mention Peter Green?
Peter Green?
Okay,
I don't think you did.
Okay, good. But yeah, definitely. He was funny too. I can't help about the shape I'm in. I can't sing I ain't pretty, and my legs are thin. But don't ask me what I think of you. I might not give the answer that you want me to. Oh, well.
Peter Green.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The dude was good. And you know what? Fleetwood Mac wouldn't exist without him. Stevie Nicks would be nothing today. I'm sorry. That's just the way she goes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's my top 5 so far. I've been thinking of a few out there ones that nobody ever talks about, you know, and I'm sure we'll talk about that eventually.
I'm sure. Well, so you ready for this? You're gonna appreciate this one.
Let's go.
Mine and my biggest influences is, of course, Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen.
So
yeah.
So as a little kid, you know, my dad's musical taste hasn't changed too much, but he would Blair, any of it. The first time I heard Eruption, the whole album, that whole Van Halen album, just ripped. It was one of the eye-opening albums as a kid. And what do you need to say? Eddie Van Halen's on everybody's top 10 list.
Easily.
And
he's not on my specific Guitar Hero list just because that's exactly it. Everybody says Eddie Van Halen, and rightly so.
Oh, he was one of the biggest influences in music,
yes.
Going through the 80s and everything. Just everything with it. A lot of people give him a lot of shit when he started with the keyboard stuff.
Right. But think about that as well. Think about what he did to move metal in general forward because he used the keyboard. There's a whole show just about Eddie Van Halen going to the keyboard. That was a big deal. That changed it. That changed the trajectory of rock and roll so drastically. 100%. I agree with you.
So the big part about it is when you talk Eddie Van Halen before he was Eddie Van Halen.
Right.
When he was just doing his thing.
Yep.
They weren't from here originally.
The Netherlands,
right.
If I'm not mistaken.
And his dad was, I believe, a professional pianist. And when you think of
he said pianist.
Eddie's hand, his hand size was just huge.
Yeah.
He had quick, nimble fingers, and he has that, when you talk about guitar playing, that neoclassical style guitar playing, he's definitely heavy into it.
It's funny that you say that. And folks, I'll tell you a little bit about Max when he likes to play, ain't talking about nubs, right?
Yeah, sure. You sing the words,
right. So. Yeah, and so he plays that song, and sometimes he curses every now and again. He said, fuck, that guy had really big hands. So it's funny to me that he says that. Yeah, and that's what's cool about him. He was able to do all that stuff probably because he had bigger hands than anybody else, and you don't think about that.
Oh, a lot of the guitar heroes, when you really truly think about them, if your hand's big enough, you can reach an extra fret farther than anybody else, which means your normal spacing, like for me, it's a second.
Right.
If your hand's a little bigger, it's a third.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're stretching further. Now things are easier.
Yep.
Where me with my tiny, fat, chubby, stubby fingers, I got to work my ass off to get around the fretboard.
And you can't grow those fingers either.
Nope. Nope. I mean, if you look at them when I stretch it out, you can see my fretting hand actually stretches a lot farther.
Yeah, kind of. Now that you say that.
So when you put it together of just a comfortable, but that's stretching. That's 15 years of trying to stretch my hand to be able to play guitar because I have short, fat, stubby, chubby, slow-ass fingers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Eddie Van Halen, like I said...
He's one of mine, too, and I talk about it all the time. I'm a David Lee Roth guy all the way, and... you're especially now. It's like the 50th anniversary of Van Halen 1 or something like that. Or I think it was Ted Templeton wrote a book, and so now they're talking about a lot of Van Halen stuff. And he didn't like David Lee Roth, but then you realize, okay, he's got kind of a way about him.
Oh yeah,
and that's how he and Eddie Van Halen kind of lined up. I'll tell you this, before we kind of start folding up, because your beer is getting emptier, my beer is getting emptier. Before we kind of put it all together, I forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter now, does it?
Doesn't matter. So, on that note, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. My beer is getting low, so we are about to wrap up. We appreciate all of you guys taking the time and listening to us, to probably our longest episode we've had so far.
Yeah.
So, once again, I am Max.
And I am Howard.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.